Okay, so let's start with some other stuffs. With Let us proceed with Java. Okay, so first of all, I would like to install Eclipse. Okay, so because I don't want to write code in Notepad and then run it from command prompt, so that is I don't prefer actually. So one example I have showed you, so that is enough. Now I'll go for Eclipse because it is an IDE for your Java developer. You can easily program here. Okay, so to download it, first of all go to Google Chrome or whatever browser you have. Just write download Eclipse. Right now, open this URL. Here you will see list of Eclipse product, right? And here you can see one drop down that is for your platform, that is Linux or Mac OS or whatever it is. So I'll select Windows and I will download this one, Eclipse IDE for Java developers, right? So now click on this 64-bit or 32-bit, whatever bit you have in your system. So I'll go for this 64-bit and then click on download. Once you click on download, it will be downloaded, and then there will be .exe file. So you just double click on it and your Eclipse will be installed. It is pretty straightforward, right? So once you have installed Eclipse, so once you have downloaded Eclipse, after that go to your download file, that is here, and then okay, you will see one icon like that. So double click on it and Eclipse will be launched. Okay, now first time it will get loaded. Okay, okay, so to work with Java, first of all you have to create one Java project. For that, go to file, then new, then Java project, then give here one project name, that is suppose Java tutorial. Click on next, click on finish. Now your project folder is ready. Here you can find one source file is there, source folder is there. Okay, basically you have to create one package first of all and then create one class. But as you don't know package right now, I'll go directly. So I'll create new and then class. See here package, it is by default taking the default package, right? Now I would like to explain you the hello world program, how it executes and all. So give your name as hello world or anything whatever name you want, and then click on this, that is public static void main string args, then click finish. Okay, now see the skeleton is ready. This is your class, public class hello world. So see the name of the class and whatever name you are giving during creation, both are same, as we explained in that text file. You remember, it should be same. And there is one method which I checked in that during creation, public static void main string args, it is already imported. Okay, now I just want to print hello world. Okay, now to run this program you have to click on this. So run, this is hello world, it is printed. Okay, now we need to understand how this program runs, right? How? Now see, this is my program. Who is running this? JRE is running this. Okay, Java runtime environment is running this. It is Java interpreter, right? Now, how Java interpreter knows from where it should start your program, right? So this is already handled by the Java developers who has developed who have built Java. So they have clearly instructed that please look first whether any program whether any method is there named as main. If there is present any such main method, it will be executed first. It is already handled. So Java interpreter will look for this method and it will start execution from here, right? But there is a problem. What is the problem? Now, as I discussed, Java gives you some access modifier. Access modifier means it gives you some keywords by which you can restrict your data or method from outside usage of your program. That means, suppose there is some confidential data, you don't want to you want to secure those data. It cannot be accessed from outside of the program. Okay, so in that case you have to mention it as private. Private means only that class can access this data, that we will see later gradually. But here this main method, right, this main method, it has to be run by the Java interpreter, right? So Java interpreter here is a outside system, you can say. Now to invoke this method should be public. That means public means anyone anywhere can access this method. So that's why it is denoted as public. Now what is static? Static you will not understand clearly now, but I'll also say, I'll try to explain. Okay, now suppose here there is one variable, suppose a is 10, right? Now to access this variable or to invoke this method, there should be an object of this class. Now what do you mean by object? Object is nothing but a reference variable. That means a variable which is pointing to this class. Okay, so to access, actually in object creation only it takes some memory allocation, physical memory allocation. Till that time there is no memory allocated. Once you create object, then memory allocation will be done and then you can access all those things. Now there can be some situation where you have to use this variable or method without creating any object. To achieve that, this static keyword has been introduced. So by static keyword, if you mention any method as static or any data variable as static, then you can access that particular method or data without creating any object. Now try to understand. This is a class. Here, this is the first program of yours. There is no other program. So you don't have any option to declare an object of this class. How will you define? Because this class itself is the first program. So that's why Java interpreter doesn't have any option to create one object and call this method. That's why we have denoted is as static, so that Java interpreter can directly call this method without dependency of any object creation and all. Okay, you understood, right? Okay. Now, what is void? Void is the return type of this method, right? So anytime, like for each and every method, it is mandatory to mention the return type. What is return type? Return type is nothing but you are doing some operation in a method, right? Now you have to return some value. Now suppose there is one method of calculating addition, so obviously you will return the result, the addition result. So then it should be an integer, or it can be string, it can be any object, whatever it is. But in this case, we are not returning any value. See, we are just simply printing hello world. So that's why you have mentioned it as void, right? Okay. Now what is this string args? So string args, this is nothing but this is the argument, this is the parameter of the method. So every method can take a number of variables, okay, number of uh, yeah, you can say number of variables it can accept, right? Now for example, if you are doing, means if you are building one addition method, okay, which will compute addition, so in that case you should have some numbers of which you should you should do the addition. So int a, int b, int c, so three integer it is taking as an argument and it is returning one result, right? So in that case, argument is, this is your argument, this is your variable name. Now this variable is which kind of variable? It is an array, okay, it denotes array. Which kind of array? Which can contain string. Okay. Now what is an array? Array, you can say it is a data type. Okay, it is a data type which can hold multiple same kind of data type variable, right? So it can be integer, string, or double, long, int, but the thing is that it can contain only same kind of data variable. Okay. So sometime you can have some requirement, like you have to store multiple values. Suppose you have to store 100 values, okay, same kind of values. So for that, obviously to store those variables you cannot create 100 variables like int a, b, c, d, e, f and so on to hold those value. So instead you can create one array, okay, one single variable that can contain 100 of integer value. So it will be a continuous memory allocation. Okay, in continuous memory allocation those 100 values will be present. Okay, so we'll see it also later. So this is the meaning of this line. Okay, now I think you should understand what this line, what is the important of this lines. Okay. Okay, so we'll go further now.